What is going on, Bulls and Bears? It is Thursday, December 16th, 2021. Thank you so much for joining me. Back with another dose of economic reality, and we've got a lot to talk about. We've got more economic realities to uncover for you and a lot of recent details, news stories, and data to get into. So let's go ahead and get started. First, please make sure you're subscribed. And it's especially important to stay on top of the financial news in the next few months. The next 6 months, just like the last couple years, have been magnificently new events unfolding all the time. We're going to see more drastic changes in our world, in our monetary system, in our financial structure, in our economy. So please make sure you're subscribed to do not miss any reports. This is very important information here that I think we all need to be on top of to stay ahead of the curve and to prevent us from getting behind the 8 ball, so to speak, financially. Now, first of all, stocks were down today, and the reason that they're putting it out there as the reason for stocks declining is because of the jobless numbers. Well, the jobless numbers were actually near a post-pandemic low. So why would stocks sell off on that? And actually, in the past, in previous weeks, when the number was higher than expected, we saw stocks positive, right? So it's really no correlation. Nothing makes sense anymore with this economy, with these markets, the stock market. And I was watching a few other economists earlier, some interviews and stuff like that, doing some research for all of you. And a couple of people have called this a Twilight Zone economy, a clown world economy. Right, there's so many different names that we can give to what's happening right now, but basically nothing makes sense as far as the markets. Prices don't make sense, especially when you look at the state of the working class here. People just buried under enormous amounts of debt. Most people are in debt, 75% approximately. So when people say the economy is good or the economy is not good, well, it depends on who you ask. If you ask the top 10%, yes, the economy is doing awesome, better than ever. Most of the people, the bottom 90%, again, most people under debt and ever increasing cost of living, wages not keeping up, Social Security payouts not keeping up, people on fixed incomes especially feeling the pain of this economy right now. All right, next story is U.S. manufacturing. Now, some people say I'm only full of bad news. Well, when good news comes out, I'll give it to you if it's related to the economy. And we have one right here. Is it good news? Well, let's take a look at it. U.S. manufacturing production near 3-year high in November. Great news, right? Rah, rah. A lot of manufacturing jobs. Are jobs coming back to the U.S.? Well, not so fast if you said yes, because take a look at this chart. And here it is right here. So when they're telling you that manufacturing and production's at a 3-year high, one, they're looking at year-over-year numbers, and year-over-year now, we're comparing it to 2020, which was a disaster with all the shutdowns and everything like that. So, of course, when you compare it to the worst year in many decades, it's going to look better year-over-year. But in addition to that, they're also looking at month-over-month numbers. So, yes, when you look at the month-over-month numbers, it's up. And it's good compared to what we had seen previously in the past few years, comparing month over month. But when you look at the actual increase, it's not that good, even when you compare it to pre-pandemic numbers. All right, so when you see a drop, then you'll see a big increase like we see right here in the blue line. Again, that's because it's comparing the year-over-year numbers. So when you compare something to an awful year like you had in 2020, of course it's going to look better. But ask yourselves this, if so many jobs are coming back and we're having so much more manufacturing, why are we still seeing rising prices, right? So obviously we're not manufacturing enough. We don't have enough supply to keep up with the demand. And also, why did we see record imports in 2020? That's right. Most people don't realize that. Record imports in 2020, even with all the container ship and cargo backups, record imports. So if we have this great manufacturing surge, as the news headlines have indicated, again, headlines like this right here, U.S. manufacturing production near 3-year high. So look at this. If manufacturing is so wonderful, why did we see record imports in 2021? Even with all the cargo backlogs, all the supply chain disruptions, still record imports. Well, we have a consumer that's running up record amounts of credit card debt. So of course people are still buying goods and products. But again, if the manufacturing is so good, why do we have to have so many cargo ships, so many imports still coming here? The truth is, jobs are still being sent offshore. Yes, you're going to see some new jobs pop up here and there, new manufacturing jobs, but we're still 70% plus service sector economy. Around the same number, around 70%, is based on consumption in the service sector. In other words, people racking up credit card debt, going out to eat, going shopping, buying things with money they don't have, gets added to the GDP, the gross domestic product, and makes it look like we're having pretty good economic activity, when really what it is a debt binge. It's a debt binge. Next, the weekly jobless number, 206,000. And that's above what they expected, but it's still over 800,000 jobs that we're losing every month, because this is, again, a weekly number. Now, they're saying that's low, but again, we have to go back and explain it. There's so many people out of the labor force right now, you're bound to see a drop in new jobless filings eventually. Why? Because at some point, there's not enough people in the labor force to even file new jobless filings or to file new claims to get counted in this statistic here. So we have to look at just the math on it. When how many people are left to actually file new jobless claims? And this doesn't tell the whole story. What if somebody loses their job, but now they move on to a different job which doesn't pay as much? It might be a part-time job, might not have any benefits, might be minimum wage. It's still counted as a job. So are these quality jobs that people are getting? Ask yourself that. And if they are quality jobs, why are people getting into bigger amounts of debt? Also, if everything is so wonderful, why do we still have cities and certain states, in some cases, that still have eviction moratoriums? We're coming up on 2 years from this great sickness being initiated, and we still have to have eviction moratoriums in some cities and in some states. Does that make sense? In an economy that's supposed to be in an amazing recovery? All right, folks, so I think most of you get the picture by now. Most of the numbers and the data that are out there as official numbers are phony, false, and fake. You know, we just have to be aware of their game, try to be ahead of the curve, try to invest in what you know is going to go up. I still am getting metals, cryptos. I bought the dip on cryptos here recently. Could cryptos vanish overnight? Could we see some sort of outage and the sites go down? Absolutely, but that's true with the whole power grid. You could see the whole power grid go down. You could see the banking system go down where people can't get money out of their ATMs. There's always that risk, and I think that's one of the big fears when you have online investing and digital forms of investing. So keep some hard assets out of the bank, some cash, or anyway, I should say that's what I do. I don't give investment advice here, but I'm keeping some assets, some money out of the financial system, have some cash. I'm keeping some on the side in case there is a buying opportunity, a correction of some sort, maybe even a crash. Who knows what's going to happen? At some point, you could wake up and the markets have dropped 50%. Who knows? Some sort of event could unfold. It could be a cyber event. Could be war. Who knows? But I just wanted to put this out there, people. But please stay on your toes, stay cautious, stay aware. So far, it looks like nothing but higher prices, more inflation. So prepare accordingly. Thanks, everybody, for being here. Stay well, stay safe, keep stacking. Bye for now.